Why should you care? And I've touched on it a little bit already, but the reason you should care is because the big government is more vast than I could ever imagine. 250 to 400 agencies, 4,000 executive branch appointees, the President of the United States, another 5,000 legislative appointees. That's 9,000 positions appointed within our federal government from just two branches. 9,000. And think of the power that some of those people have within those some of those 9,000 people have. We're talking about everyone from probably like a deputy director level, like fourth, maybe down the totem pole, maybe lower than that, all the way up to the highest of the highest to be the director of like an FBI or the CDC or the FDA. And think back to what we've been going through since January, March of 2020 and what's been wielded from these different agencies. And that's why you should care. Because if you don't care, the government's just going to do whatever it wants to do and then just wait for someone to sue them, to sue one of these agencies, go through that whole process with the court and everything else to say thumbs up, thumbs down, this is allowed, this is not allowed. And that seems to be the approach for some of these most recent Supreme Court decisions during the Biden administration. I remember in one case, Biden said like, oh, this probably isn't even legal, but we're just going to go ahead and do it anyway. And what they're banking on, like with that vaccine mandate, is people saying, oh crap, well, dang, we actually have to do this. Like this came down from the CDC, this came down from OSHA. The president supports this. And then you have, because it's such a litigious society, you have these companies for the vaccine mandate thinking, well, we have to be prepared. January, it's November. Like we have 60 days to get ready for this. We have to be prepared. And we don't want to get a lawsuit. That'll cost us, right? So we're just going to go ahead and bend the knee and do whatever the government says out of fear. And the government's sitting back there thinking, hey, whether this is illegal or not, we're going to get 2 months of people complying with whatever the order is, whatever the mandate is in this case. And look at the thousands, hundreds of thousands, or millions of people who got vaccinated because they thought they were going to have to get vaccinated. Isn't that dirty? Isn't that a dirty little trick? Say, oh, we'll just use people's fear. We'll use fear of these corporations, fear of these companies, push that thumb down on them just a little bit more to get what we want. And then, oh, we had an inkling actually when we put this in place that it wasn't legal, but we knew what was going to happen. We're just putting our thumb on the scale and incentivizing people to get the vaccine in this case. And look how many people got it. Like, job well done. But that is why you should care. The federal government is huge. Huge, gigantic, ginormous. I can't keep up with it. You can't keep up with it. But together, along with these watch groups and organizations, standing up for themselves, we can watch it, right? And this is why it matters who you are electing into office. When it comes to your local representative, when it comes to your state senator, do you trust that when something, when a mandate is issued or something like that by one of these agencies that is illegal, that is unconstitutional, do you trust that they're going to stand up for your rights? I mean, you put them into office, are they going to stand up for you? I sure hope so. But that's one of the things that we have to consider, like, oh, don't consider the frivolous things. Consider these things. 4,000 appointees, 400 agencies. We are just one step away from authoritarian government popping up just like that, like a little pop-up shop whenever you sell clothes or something out in a shopping mall plaza, something like that. Like just poof, 4,000 people that are in lockstep with the president of the United States because they were appointed by him. And then you have a lazy Congress in a lot of instances that doesn't want to act. So that just emboldens these agencies to say, hey, it's up to me. It's up to me. And if this isn't legal, then the courts will settle it. And that is no way to run a country. That is no way to run a country. That's a dirty trick way to run a country. So I hope this kind of wakes you up. I hope that's what this episode does. I hope it wakes you up to the fact that if you are not woke, right? That's not the original intent of that term, but you need to be woke. You need to be awake. You need to be aware of what is going on around you within the federal government, what these agencies are up to. Because if you're not, and you're not going to act upon anything that they do, that you stand, and you're not going to stand up against it, they're just going to keep taking and taking and taking, and let the courts rule whether they can or can't do something. Meanwhile, in that length of time that it takes to get decided upon within the courts, they're going to get whatever it is that they wanted.